few minutes to center in and just settle into our mats before we get moving, but I won't spend as long as I normally do. So in the future, if you wanted to come a little bit earlier and do some breathing work, pranayama breathing, feel free. So let's just sit comfortable seated, whether that's cross-legged or lotus, half lotus or full lotus, or even kneeling. Find a comfortable position with your hands, whether that's on your knees or you like to just rest them beside you. Maybe you like to take an Anjali Mudra with the hands, but in prayer. So when you find that position, just settle in and really let the bony structures, the sit bones and the hips and the knees start to drop downward into the earth below you. Nice stable base. But you then to lift up tall through the spine, right up to the crown, creating a lot of space through that spine. And then just start to feel the breath filling up every nook and cranny of the spine, reaching taller and longer up to the crown. You just take a little bit more of a lift, so you're pretty much like the tallest version that you can be of yourself as you're sitting on your mat. Let any thoughts that are creeping in just sort of pass you by. We're just here in this virtual presence to share energy, move our bodies, be grateful for our health. So a few easy breaths. The chest is just lifting lightly and dropping. Just start to increase the breath, so you're filling up a little bit more, the lungs just a bit more. Maybe taking 4 or 5 breaths up, holding for a moment, and then letting it out through the mouth. So we'll do 5 of these breaths. Really taking your time to exhale. Hearing the breath come out as you let it all go. And breathe in. Nice big deep breath right from the diaphragm up. And out. One more. Biggest breath of the morning. Sets you up for the day. And out. Just slowly flutter the eyes open. We'll come first to kneeling. Straight up to a kneeling position. If you have any trouble kneeling, feel free to sit cross-legged. But we'll just start to warm up with some easy movement. When you're ready, just settle in there. Make sure there's no pressure on the knees. Sitting tall through the spine. Take a breath up, reaching high. And back out. So continuing with that pranayama breath, bring it through the center as you bring the breath up to reach the pinnacle at the top. And out. Let's go ahead and just stretch over nice and long to the right. Just a nice easy lateral spine stretch. First, probably stretch of the morning for most of us. So just see where your body's at. You might like to take the focus downward or upward, whichever feels better. And I'm really stretching right through from the hip bone up through that side, right up to the tips of my fingers here. Getting that traction through the whole side of the body. Then we engage the tummy, come back up through center and just take it to the other side. So always lifting with intention, moving side to side, never flopping around. Nice and strong. Let's come back through to center and just take it forward as you exhale. So again, I've got a flat back here. I'm not collapsing. I'm nice and strong. And I've got my hands just sort of like spider fingers out to the side here. As I stretch forward, my chin is slightly forward, so it's a little different than just sort of collapsing over with the head to the floor. You might come off your feet a little bit here as well. So maybe work toward pulling that coccyx back toward the heels of the feet, and then you'll get that feeling of traction through the spine. All right, engage the tummy. Let's come up. Take a breath. Exhale through the center line. We'll just take that again. Reaching up and over a little bit quicker this time. I do a lot of flow in my classes, so you'll find that we'll start to move rather quickly at times. Up and over. Back through center, just circling the arms gently with grace and ease as you bring the body forward, using the tummy to set yourself forward. Nice and easy. All right, let's roll up now. We'll just do a little bit of spinal movement here before we start to move a bit more. So I'm just doing some rolling cat-cows here. Just like when you're on all fours, it's just a rolling forward and then a little tuck back with my tummy through the belly button. So it's like somebody's just touched you in the belly button here, and you collapse back, and then you lift up and forward, chin comes up. And you might like to increase the range here of movement as you go, so creating a little bit more each time. A couple more of these. You can do this up on the knees if it's too uncomfortable for you to stay kneeling. So that would be more like here. When you're ready, a couple more of these. We'll just find the floor with our hands and take the right leg directly out. So just do a one-legged stretch here. My back is relatively flat. So just start to push into the floor a little here. You'll feel that stretch through the adductor. Chin is up, back is flat. Then bring the body up as you engage that tummy and take a little lateral stretch again over toward the leg. Okay, so not really that far into class, so you're probably not quite warmed up. But just let yourself find your easy edge. All right, let's come back through. Find the floor, then go ahead and lift. We'll just do a strengthening exercise here, just lifting that leg straight up to about neutral here. I'm engaging my glutes and my big muscles of the leg, the vastus lateralis and the glute. You really feel that through your butt muscles here if you keep that leg lifted somewhat. Let's drop that leg back down. Come back up, and this time if you like, tip the body over to the opposite direction. So opposite lateral stretch here. Bring the arm nice and long over. Then open that body up, just like when you're in, say, a wild thing or one of those other heart-opening forms. Nice ways. And if you like, you can come with me, or you can just stay here and continue to stretch. I'm just going to go ahead and grab that foot and extend. So if you don't feel like you're quite warmed up enough for that yet, you don't need to go any further. If you need to bend in the knee, that's fine too. Otherwise, you can just stay here. So 5 more counts of this position. Beautiful, everyone. And then slowly let go without dropping. So holding, and bringing that down. Knees come together. Let's go ahead and take a stretch in balasana or child's pose before we go to the other side. So you should be really feeling that through your buttocks. With child's pose, again, I always say it can be as active or passive as you like here. You can really stretch the body forward and back by sort of crawling those fingertips forward and really sitting back on the haunches at the same time. Let's come back up. We'll come to the other side. So again, just left leg comes out, just a nice, easy, long stretch here. Taking the weight of the body just a little forward, sinking in. There's somebody waiting there. And then we'll go ahead and bring that leg up to about hip height. So it doesn't need to be higher. Obviously, if it's lower, that's fine. That's where you're at today, but ultimately about hip height here. So really engaging those bottom muscles. You might feel a little bit of a burn. Slowly bringing that foot back down and anchoring, always anchoring one foot on the ground in these positions, reaching up tall and over to the opposite direction, opening that heart and that throat. So we're inviting energy through to our communication center and our heart center here. And then slowly coming back through. Again, either stay here or grab that foot and extend to wherever feels okay for you and with whatever grip feels okay. Maybe you'd like to challenge your balance a little bit here as well. 5 more counts. All right, when you're ready, let's come back through to tabletop. Just moving back and forward. So I'm just stretching back into a little child's pose, and then I'm going to just snake forward a little and drop the hips down. Just easy. You might like to just take it more as a cobra rather than a full up dog here. For starters, with the back, pushing yourself back. Again, just flowing back and forward a little here. Just letting that low back just start to get some juices running through, synovial fluid, circulation. Let's find the breath as well. So inhaling, exhaling. So this time now we're going to try striking cobra. So we start to bring the body low, down toward the ground, and then push up before we come back through. Okay, so you need to really listen to your body here. If you'd like to take the forearms to the ground, that's another variation. The chin comes forward, the body pushes up into whatever upward position feels okay. Now find the breath, breathing in and exhaling. A couple more of these. So now you might like to increase the intensity of your little back bend here now that we're warmed up. One more time. This time just hang here for a minute. So again, find if your back is not great or you don't like that feeling of compression, then bring the body down a little to where it feels okay for you. The next thing is to let go of your butt. If you're hanging on to your butt muscles, just let them go here. So we're sort of hanging in this position. It's a bit more yin. We'll give it a few seconds here. And when you're ready, pushing yourself back up. Let's take one more child's pose before we start to move into our stronger flow, vinyasa flow from down dog and that sort of thing. So again, as active or as passive as feels okay for you here. Beautiful. Take 5 more deep counts. All right. When you're ready, let's go ahead and push up into a down dog. So down dog is a nice strong position. 4 points of contact. Palms. Really feeling that ground below you. Heels pushing backward, and I've got my back is relatively straight and taking my head downward. All right, let's just shift the body forward into plank. Nice and strong. So plank is a neutral position. It's not too high, it's not too low. The bottom shouldn't be sticking up. and then pushing back through to down dog. So on the side, since you've got the camera in front of you, it's quite easy to really check and see where you're at with this. So down and back up. One more time, forward. So my body's coming forward now. I'm preparing myself for a chaturanga. So the weight's off and up over my toes and back. Let's take the right hand and reach it for the left foot. So I'm reaching for the ankle here. A little bit awkward. If this is too awkward for you, just remain on two hands. Bring that hand back. Let's try the other side. Ultimately working towards straight legs at the back. You might need to bend them a little bit to make contact, or you might just be reaching for that foot. Coming back forward, I'm going to bend my knees and hover really low just above the mat. And from here, we're going to be turning, stay where you are, I'm just turning this way so you can see what I'm doing. We're going to be turning our body to the right and just taking the other arm upward. So we're just on a sort of a little squat position as we come back through, fanning the arm back. Knees are still hovering and I come to the other side. So we'll just repeat that a few times. So this is a strength building exercise. Side to side, we'll do this a few times, just do it in your own time. Sets you up for side planking, works the abdominals. One more time each side. The arm is coming nice and tall, up and around. Back through and then push up to your down dog. A little bit of heart probably racing, maybe just a little bit here. So we'll come forward to our first chaturanga. We'll bring the body forward to plank. You can do this from knees if you need to, if you haven't done one before, or you're worried about back or your core strength. So if you're on your knees, just take a breath in. Exhale, bring the body down, holding about halfway, pushing the chest up and forward, coming up into that little cobra or up dog, and then pushing back to your down dog. Find your breath. All right, let's do that again. Breathe, come forward. Exhale down. Chest comes up. Now I'm lifting up off my thighs here, and then coming up and over my feet. So let's start to add on to that for a little bit of flow. So floating the right leg high. We're in three-legged dog. Now, you want to try to have the heel really strong toward the ceiling here. Pushing through the front line of the body. Back is relatively straight. We'll go ahead and curl the knee to the chest as we come to plank. Now you can be doing this from one knee if you feel like you need to. Coming back up high. Foot is directly up and behind. Just repeat that. Curl that knee forward. Exhale. Inhale as you come up high. Bringing the foot through the two front hands so that you're in low lunge. So my foot is directly between my two hands at the front. Use your hand if you need to shift that foot. Have the back knee down if that feels better for you. Otherwise, you can stay in low lunge here and just let the hips sink. All right, let's go ahead and pull. Pull directly back, nose to knee. So again, first edge, just see how you feel. Maybe your hands are on either side of the foot. Maybe you'd like to grab your ankle. Maybe you'd like to bring that nose right down to the knee and fall. Let's come back down to low lunge. And from here, I will be coming up into crescent lunge. You can use your hands on your knee if you need to help. If you feel you've got enough abdominal strength and balance to bring yourself straight up, then that's what we're angling for. Dropping that knee really low. So feel strong, feel stable, find your breath. Back knees bent, back heels off the ground. Now taking the hands behind, I'm clasping them behind my back, and I'll go ahead and tip forward into a version of humble warrior. So my back leg is still on the ground here, but I'm starting to bring my body down, my hands up and over. So just breathe into that, see how it feels. You can just leave the hands on the back, lower back if that's enough for you. All right, let's come back up nice and tall. So we're back into crescent lunge. Find your breath, and we'll take a little cross twist here toward the right-hand side for you. Now, really reaching those arms one direction to the other and really twisting that torso. So you're creating a long line of energy from the front to the back. Let's bring the arms back up through crescent lunge. We'll go ahead and tip forward. Back is flat. So I'm really engaging here. Starting to feel a little sore, a little tight through the legs. Come back up. Take a breath, bring the arms up high. This time straightening both legs. Drop the back foot to the ground, and we'll take that twist again, but we're on flat feet. So our spine should be starting to warm up here a little. Tip the body forward, and we're in revolved triangle. So again, here, if you're a little unstable, you can use your hand on the ground here. You can put the opposite hand on your hip. You can take a little bend. But the ultimate expression is both legs straight, both arms nice and strong, crossed over the outside of the foot. Upper arm is nice and high. Find the floor if you need to, or if not, this is a little bend in the front leg. Bring the body up high. We're in crescent lunge. Find your breath. Take the arms behind, and again, we'll be taking that humble warrior position, but this time lifting the back leg if it's available to you. If not, just tipping forward. Otherwise, you come forward, tip the body up, and lift that leg behind you. Really aiming for as far forward as you can get and leg as high as you can get. And then when you're ready, coming back through crescent lunge. Find the floor in front of you. Pick up the front leg to meet the back leg. You're in down dog. So walk this out a little. Find your breath again. We'll be repeating all that on the left leg. This way for you. So when you're ready, left leg comes high. Little curl to the chest, nice and strong, bringing nose to knee. Inhale, bring it back up high. One more time, nose to knee. One more time up. This time bringing it through. Both hands at the front. You're in a long, low lunge. So just let your hips sink. If you need to have that back leg down, feel free. There's always variations to these. All right, engage in the tummy, bringing the body up nice and strong, nice and tall. Now really let the knee sink. As you exhale, bring those arms behind you and just tip forward. Now you can either leave the arms just here or even just grabbing wrist to wrist. Or if you feel like you're quite open today, go ahead and tip forward and bring the arms up and around. All right, exhale back through crescent lunge again, doing whatever you need to do in the transition. Go ahead and twist toward your left hand side, I believe, for you. So you have that nice long line with the body. Come back up through your lunge. Arms come high. We straighten the legs. Tip forward. You're now in revolved triangle. So again, find your version of this. You might need to take a little bend in that front leg. Might need to shake it out a little. It's all about stamina, the intensity of holding these rather simple positions, but they're really quite taxing. All right, bend in the front leg, come back up through your crescent lunge. Exhale. We'll go into that warrior three position. Again, however you need to do this, you might just stay here today, or you might find you can come all the way down and through and have the leg nice and high up behind you. Bring that back foot back down to your crescent lunge. Reach tall, find the floor, bring the front leg to the back, you're in down dog. Breathing, come forward, chaturanga down. Chest comes up, we're in up dog. Come back through, find either down dog, or if you'd like a little rest, come into child's pose. I usually like to take a minute here just to have a little sip of water or a little breath, do what you need to do. All right, when you're ready, push yourself back up into down dog if you have come out. So what we'll do is start to add on. We'll do that whole flow, and we'll add on a little balance at the end. So let's just start with chaturanga. Breathing, come to plank. Exhale, come forward. Breathe in, come up. Push back to your down dog. Bend the knees a little. Turn to the right hand side. Reach tall. Come back through neutral. Over to the other side, reach tall. We're going to repeat that, but what we'll do is come up to plank, down dog, to plank, and then we'll take that as a side plank. So reaching tall with both legs straight, and back through. Other side, and back through. And you can do that as the first variation or on your knees. Back up to down dog. Lift your left leg high. Sorry, your right leg, my bad. Bring it through central to low lunge. Inhale, come up, full crescent lunge. Exhale, come forward, clasp the hands as you do. Tip the arms over the head. Fan those arms forward, breath in. Cross the body to the right. Come back through and forward. Drop the foot on the ground. Cross through to revolve triangle. Little bend in the back leg and the front leg as you come back to crescent lunge. Tipping forward as you grab those hands behind you. Either repeat the first variation or go ahead and tip forward with the leg coming high. One breath. Come back down through crescent lunge. Step forward to mountain. Find your breath, close your eyes down for just a minute if you need to. Maybe walk it out a little. We're on the right leg. Go ahead and sweep the arms forward, bring that leg straight up or into crane, whichever you prefer. My arms are in goddess. I'm just going to adjust the screen, hold there for a minute. From here, go ahead and bring it into lotus. You can adjust if you need to with the hand. Standing tall. So this is a little different than tree. Lotus is actually bringing that foot up to the groin. Then taking a bend in that supporting leg. Just tipping forward here if you can. Otherwise, stay where you are. Dropping the hands down, finding the floor. You might just dangle or you might actually touch down. If you'd like to go further, feel free. Follow me. I'm coming down onto toe stand. Hands are coming to the side. Bring the hands back forward. Bring yourself back up the way you came. If you can, coming back through lotus without dropping the leg. Nice and tall. Breathe. We'll continue from here. If you need to step down, reset, feel free. Otherwise, I'm taking the opposite hand to leg and extending forward. Arm is coming back behind me, nice and strong. You can take the focus all the way behind, if you like. Otherwise, you can just stand here with the knee to the chest. When you're ready, come back through, reach up high, take a breath. Exhale down, little half lift up. Flat back, either hands on the shins or hands just touching the floor. Find the floor again, little bend in the knees. Jump back and find down dog. When you're ready, chaturanga, bring the body forward. Weight comes up over those arms. Exhale, come down. Chest comes up, float back up to your down dog. Float the left leg high. Knee comes to the chest. Back up high. Drop that foot down. Bring the body to the right hand side. Reach up high. Arm comes over. Floating over to the other side. So lots of energy through that upper arm. And back through. Push up to down dog. Then back to plank, and we'll do that with side plank. So use those angles of the feet to reach up high. And back through. Again. And back through. Pushing up into your down dog. So now we'll float the left leg high. Bring that foot through the two hands at the front. You're in low lunge. Bring the body up high. Nice and stable. You've got that anchor in the back foot. Exhale, clasp the hands. Chest forward as you tip on to that front leg. Exhale, bring the arms up and through, and as you inhale again, exhale to a twist, a little bit lower. Back arm comes through, come high. Straighten the legs, straighten the back leg. Take the same twist, this time to the outside of the foot. Bend in both legs as you come forward and through to lunge position. Find those arms and we come over to warrior three, humble warrior three. So this one we tip the body downward, back leg comes up, back through, arms come high, step forward into mountain tadasana, find your breath. Heart rate's high, that's a good thing. Alrighty, so floating that left leg forward, either in crane, sorry, palms were up here, or extending straight in front. Then taking it to lotus, adjusting, using the hand to adjust if you want it a bit higher. I've got my fingers in Anjali Mudra here, forefinger and thumb together if you want. Otherwise, you might like to take Anjali if that feels more comfortable for you. If you're falling, just keep it down on the floor below you. Just make contact until you feel stable and can bring it back up. Tip back forward. You can take a little bend in that back leg if it feels okay for you, and then either dangle or go ahead and work toward touching the floor with your fingers. Go ahead and bring your bodies down if that's available. Nice smell. I'm having a look at everyone. So find your balance here. Beautiful. You can take this further. Those of you who know how to do a balance with one hand to the other, feel free just for a minute. And find your center. And then when you're ready, coming back up and through to lotus. And our final balancing on this side. Again, you can either, if this isn't comfortable with the opposite foot, feel free to grab with the same foot, or if you want a little bit more intensity, grab with that opposite hand to the opposite edge. Taking the arm out, and taking the focus behind you. Now work towards straightening both legs. Back through, if you can, come through lotus first. Take a step down, breathe up. Exhale down, half lift up, back to the floor, little bend in the knees, fine, you down dog. One more chaturanga, breathing. Exhale down, chest stop, come back into child's pose. Very nice, so you've earned a nice little stretch, a little break here. So just let the breath come back down. The heart rate settled. We'll just do a little bit more strength and flow before we come back to the ground. It looks like they have extended the time because it's past 9:40 here. So we'll just keep going until an hour or it cuts out. So coming back to down dog, feel free to keep resting if you feel like you need to do that. So I'll float the the right leg high. And I'm going to bring that to the outside of the hand now, so I'm in lizard. So a little different, it feels a little different than when you've got your foot between your two hands at the front. This can feel a bit more intense through the groin. You can drop that back leg if you need to. Or keep that heel up off the ground, the toes curled. I'm going to bring my body down to my forearms here for a bit more intensity. Again, feel free to stay where you are or maybe push a bit further. And now I'll take my right hand and reach high, and I'm just sort of letting my foot roll onto the outer edge here. So now my back foot will roll a little as well, and you're in that full expression. Come back through gently. You might need to drop the knee here. Coming back through to lizard. Let's go ahead and pick up that heel again and pick up this front foot, lifting it up into down dog. So a nice strong transition there. This time what we're going to do is cross that knee over to the left arm, and I'm going to drop it on the ground. So I'm in like a little cross split position here. So my front leg is straight. If that's no good, you can take a bend, but we are angling for a straight front leg and a straight back leg. So you might need to take a little mermaid position, or you might be able to have that like on a straighter position. Once you've got what feels good, just bring your body down and forward over that front leg. It feels quite awkward. Yeah, that's it. Looks like everyone's got some version of that. So we're aiming for the elbows or forearms to the ground, and eventually to take the body forward here as well. So really feeling that through the back line of your right leg. Also stimulates the gut and the digestive system, this one, because we've got that cross twist happening in the sort of spleen meridian there. So that one's quite a good one if you've got any gut issues. I know a couple of you do there. So. All right, let's just slowly bring our bodies back up. Now, bending both legs, we are going to come back out the way we went in. So you've got to have your hands at the front, pick your body up, and then bring that right leg up into three-legged dog. Foot comes down to the ground. Inhale, come forward to chaturanga. Exhale down. Body comes up. One more time back through. Bring the left leg high. So we'll go through that lizard sequence, bringing it gently to the outside of the left hand. Hips come nice and low. So just let your body sink here, find an edge. You should be nice and warmed up now, so technically able to just go to your maximum. Then bringing the body forward, you might like to bring the knee down to the ground for this if it's feeling too much for you, or stay where you are. Bring my body back so you can see. And then go ahead and just roll. I'm rolling that hip inward, and my left foot is rolling to the outer edge, and I'm reaching high. And really open that body up. Exhale, come back through. So remember, we're picking that front foot up and moving back into a three-legged dog. So curl that back toe, lift the knee, bring the foot up behind you. Cross it over to the opposite elbow, and then drop it to the ground and move into some form of split here. Yeah, that's it. Nice. I can see everyone here. And then drop your body forward. Again, bend that front leg if you feel like you need to. That's fine. Just find the more you work towards straightening that leg and twisting that upper body, you'll really feel it through your tummy as well as getting a long leg stretch and a hip stretch. All right, let's slowly bring ourselves back up, and remember, we're going back out the way we came in. So you'll need to bend both legs, twist the body in one fell swoop with the leg up, coming back down. We'll take one more chaturanga, breathing, exhale down, body comes up. Let's come back up to tabletop. So just tap it out or do some cat-cows, do whatever you need to do here. Maybe swinging the hips, maybe some figure eights. This is your time to just rebound a little from what we just did. I'm going to come up onto kneeling, and I've got I'm just working through my toes here. So just taking the body back slightly. I've got the toes off the mat and curled. That's it. So nothing complicated about this. It's just that it can feel really intense if you have any type of problems with the small joints in your body, which I know I do. A couple more breaths here. All right, let's just come up and tap the feet out behind you a little bit. And we'll come into Camel-Strasana. So Camel is, again, a very personal sort of asana. Some people like to go quite deep in it. Others just, it's a little bit much to have the heart open that much. So we'll just go through the variations, bringing the hands up. For starters, you might like to just take your right hand and then your left hand and just pop it on the hips and start to open up this way. That might be enough for you. Those who like a bit more, you can start to tip that head back to wherever feels okay, and then start to reach for the heels behind you and create that back bend. So I'm pushing the hips forward and opening the chest, dropping my head back fully, and creating like a slingshot type of movement here. The hips are forward, upper chest is lifting. So 5 more counts here. All right, when you're ready, coming back up. And let's sit back onto our heels. Just recollect after that. Maybe bring the hands into the heart center and just let the heart settle a little. It's a very, you know, brings up a lot of physical and metaphysical sort of experiences there. I'd like to close your eyes and just find your breath. Let's come back down onto our backs for the last part of the class. We'll do a little bit more spinal twisting and back stretching, bringing the knees to the chest, nice and tight. So I'm going to take a twisted ribs. So lifting those feet up and then just dropping the knees one over the other like you're sitting at a desk, okay? So I haven't got my knee out like in lotus or tree. I've got my knee crossed one over the other. And you'll probably already start to feel a little bit of tension there. That may be enough for you. If you like, you can go ahead and drop the legs to the left-hand side, bringing the knees to the ground here, and then taking the focus in opposition to the right-hand side. So now just let your body sink into this. Find your breath and now let go of anything you're hanging on to here. All right, engage the tummy and bring the feet back through, lifting slowly to protect that low back. Uncurl, and let's find a happy baby. So just, you can take your fingers around your big toes here and just let your legs fall open. And again, I'm really enjoying that feeling of the sacral region just connecting to the ground. It feels heavy in the ground. And then you can just let those legs drop a little more and maybe rock back and forth if it feels good. Now go ahead and work towards straightening the legs a little if you can. So now we're more in an open split here, just for a few breaths. Nice. Couple more breaths. Beautiful, Maria. All that ballet is paying off. Back through. And just, yeah, bring the legs back up. Cross the left over the right this time. And we'll just take twisted roots on the other side. So when you're ready, you've got a nice tight sort of unit there, and let it drop over to the side. Take the focus, if you like, the upper body in opposition there, and then just sink in. That's it, beautiful. Couple more breaths. All right, engage the tummy before you come back out and through. Uncurling nice and methodically here. Grab the knees to the chest to rebound a little if you need to. So we'll take one more, just shoulder stand before we come into Shavasana. It's really nice we got to do the full hour again today. So for those of you who know this, you can go straight into it. We're just bringing our feet up over our head and supporting that with our hands and taking the feet toward the ceiling. Creating a nice long line here and really reaching up high, taking weight into the shoulders. If you have any shoulder injuries or anything, this might not feel great for you, so just go where you can. If you'd like to take it all the way over into a snail position or one leg at a time, feel free. I personally don't like that because it makes me feel suffocated, but some people do like it. So just bringing the legs down, wherever feels good. Couple more breaths. And then slowly coming back up and through and rolling down. So we will take a Shavasana since we have time, which is really nice. So I'll just give you a little bit of, I can't give you music unfortunately because Spotify seems to not like it. So I will give you a bell. I have a nice bell I can give you. So go ahead and take a lie down. Find a comfortable finishing resting position where you can really just let your body sink into the ground there. Let all of that work that you've just done integrate into every muscle, joint, and ligament of the body. Just start to notice the breath. You might like to cover your eyes. You might like a little head pillow or a blanket or something over you to make you feel more comfortable. And then just start to notice your breath. Your heart rate should be coming back down to normal-ish. The breath, just an easy lift and fall of the chest now. Just take a moment to take stock of your mind and your body in this present moment. There's nothing else around you. Think about just the present, just being in the present. And slowly just start to bring some awareness back in through the physical body, perhaps through a little bit of movement in the feet. Maybe a big morning type stretch, hands over the head, nice big long body stretch, feels good at the end of class. Maybe you'd like to just swing windshield wiper those legs a little bit back and forth. And when you're ready, you can slowly come back to seated if you'd like to join me for a final moment before we finish. Keeping the eyes closed if it feels okay. And maybe just a couple of more conscious breaths to seal your practice. Thanks, everyone. Namaste.